September 18th, 2011, Week 2, Kansas City at Detroit. Chiefs running back Jamaal Charles is coming off an all-pro season.
Charles trying to attack the angle is shoved out at the 15-yard line. And Jamaal Charles runs into the Detroit Lion mascot on the sideline and appears to be hurt.
I feel like, dang, my team really count on me, and now I'm out for the rest of the season.
Over the course of the next year, Jamaal would rehab from a torn ACL and work his way back to the field. In July of 2012, just before training camp, he married his longtime girlfriend, Whitney Golden, in front of family and friends, including Whitney's cousin, Cassandra Perkins, who was 7 months pregnant at the time. On September 11th, she and her boyfriend, Chiefs linebacker Javon Belcher, whom Jamaal introduced to her, welcomed a daughter, Zoe, just as the NFL season kicked off. Jamaal returned to all-pro form in 2012.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
However, the Chiefs struggled, winning just one of their first 11 games. Then came Saturday, December 1st.
She's still breathing, but barely. Please hurry. I don't know how many times he shot her. They were arguing.
Okay, so she's been shot?
Yes.
Okay, right now, is she awake?
Yes, stay with me. The ambulance is on the way. You hear me? You hear me? Cassandra! Stay with me.
Okay, listen, ma'am, is she awake?
She's just barely.
Can you hear what you're saying?
Yes, she's moving when I talk to her.
I remember how that day started. Javon's mama called and tell him, I need to get over here. Me and Whitney is like, what? Get to the house, why?
She needed help, that Javon hurt Cassie. And so immediately I throw some clothes on and run to the door. So I'm gonna go, get my cousin.
Jamaal and Whitney make the 20-minute drive to the house where Javon Belcher and Whitney's cousin Cassandra were living.
I'm freaking out, and by the time we get there, the ambulance came to pick her up. They had taken her to the hospital.
And we seen the ambulance. And we followed the ambulance to the hospital. I actually saw Javon on the stretcher getting out. I didn't know what was going on at that time. I couldn't believe it.
They put me in a small waiting room. The doctor came in and very bluntly told me she was gone. She had been shot too many times, and they couldn't do anything.
Me and Whitney was lost it. What? Like, what? I mean, Whitney just walked out the room. I remember us going to the end of the street, and she was just losing it.
He said she's losing it, like how?
Crying, just crying. I'm crying with her at the same time, but I'm trying to comfort her.
He was with me, he stood with me, he sat with me, and he was just there. I mean, there wasn't anything anyone could do.
When did you find out about what happened to Javon?
When I walked back into the hospital, it was the first question I asked. I asked where he was. They told me he killed himself. And that was the end of the conversation.
On the morning of December 1st, Javon Belcher shot Cassandra Perkins 9 times, killing her. She was 22. Belcher then drove to the Chiefs practice facility at Arrowhead. In front of head coach Romeo Crennel and GM Scott Pioli, Belcher committed suicide. He was 25.
Did you ever get an explanation as to why it happened?
We won't never get an explanation of why it happened. That's why I just leave it alone. It happened.
We heard so many rumors about Cassie and how she was a catalyst for what happened to her, or, you know, was there infidelity, or was there fighting, or, you know, did they have a rocky relationship, or, you know, just lots of things that weren't true. And even if they were true, are no excuse. Cassie's in no way to blame for what happened at all.
The next day, the Chiefs hosted the Carolina Panthers.
I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go at all. I didn't want to even play in the game.
They had like a moment of silence for domestic violence victims. They didn't name Cassie specifically. But other than that, the show went on.
It's hard for me, and it's hard for everybody in that locker room. We tried to dedicate the game to the belt, but you know what I'm saying? I was trying to dedicate the game to Cassidy.
The strangest part for him was going to be around people that were mourning the loss of Javon when he didn't quite feel the same.
Jamaal rushed for 127 yards and led the Chiefs to a 27-21 victory.
We went in the locker room and I was crying because it still was on my mind. And it's still hard to bring up still. I mean, after that tragedy happened the day before and you got to go play a game the next day. We won the game, but it still was hitting in my head.
It was for days that Jamaal couldn't sleep. It was many nights, late nights, that I got phone calls. And he blamed himself totally.
Why did you feel like it was your fault?
Because I kind of introduced them together. I mean, I did it, so I don't know how I can never say it wouldn't be my fault.
You still feel that way?
I kind of still feel that way in my side because I feel like, I mean, if I probably would have never introduced them to each other, they probably would never would have been still probably alive.
Jamaal loves what he does. I love supporting him, but going to Arrowhead is difficult every single time. We could not wait to leave Kansas City. Being in Kansas City even now is difficult.
In July of 2013, a court awarded custody of Cassandra and Javon's daughter, Zoe, to Whitney's family in Texas.
Happy birthday to you.
Whitney and Jamaal and their two daughters visit Zoe regularly.
It's gonna be hard growing up, not knowing a mama and a daddy, but we all try to give her that great confidence, like be in her life and take care of her good, take care of her.
And so, just as he's done his entire life, through love and loss, pain and struggle, Jamaal Charles carries on for himself and those he loves.
Just trying to dedicate something to Cassie, trying to keep her in memory and play my hearts out for her.
Charles for the third time.
You know, she's watching over us, she's watching over her family and watching over her daughter and watching over everybody that she cared about.